Hello. Welcome. So excited that you're here. Just make sure that you mute yourself if you don't want to talk because the background noise is going to be too much. So just be aware of your microphone. Okay. We're going to get started in about 15 to 20 minutes. We'll probably give people a little bit of time to log in right at the top of the hour. So get what you need, get some water, run to the bathroom, do what you got to do so that you don't miss anything. And I'm going to do the same.
This is the right one.
Okay, Jen, I unmuted you. Can you hear me? Okay.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yay!
All right. Jennifer is my co-host, so she's going to be helping me with questions. So I want everybody to be able to post their questions in the chat box, and then at the end of the class, I'll be answering those questions. So she's going to help me with that.
It'll be fun. Can't wait. This is so exciting. I'm so glad we're able to get together and do this.
Yeah.
Hope everyone learned so much about all the amazing oils and all of the benefits of everything.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. Okay. So, did you need to go get water or anything?
Yeah, I think let me just, should we meet back here in like 5 minutes when everything, now that we know that the whole room is all set up and perfect?
Yes.
Okay. I will meet up in just a minute with you. Okay, bye.
Okay, let me just share my screen here. And all right, hopefully all of you can see my screen. I can't see you anymore, so if you're nodding or anything, I can't see you. So I'm gonna just rely on Jen to unmute herself and let me know if there's an issue. So I just want to welcome all of you. I really do appreciate you coming tonight. I know everyone is really busy, and it does take time out of your lives to be here, so I do appreciate you. My name is Missy Crawley, and I am a doTERRA wellness advocate. And what that means is that my super cool job is to go all over the country and help people feel better with essential oils. What a cool job I have. I can't even imagine doing something else. So I'm very, very lucky to do that. I want to thank all my co-leaders in doTERRA for inviting all of you. And if you're watching the recording, I am so glad that you were able to do that, and I welcome you. And I guess we'll go ahead and get moving here. This is my family. I have 2 boys. They have my oldest son has ADHD, and my youngest son has ADD. It comes from my husband's side of the family. Thank you, dear. And I love them all dearly. They drive me a little crazy, so I will talk about that in case any of you have children that deal with the ability to not focus. So I will talk about that. This in the lower right-hand corner is Sasha. She's Wagner telling me. She's my almost 9-year-old golden retriever mix, and we live in Flagstaff, Arizona, which is way up in the mountains, so it does snow here. It's actually been raining the last 24 hours, although if it gets cold enough tonight, we may see a little bit of snow. We love it here in the mountains. We've been here about 4 years, and I can't imagine living anywhere else. It's a small town, and it's just perfect for raising a family. And my puppy, Sasha, loves it too. She's always going to be my puppy. So, all right. So, let's see here. So I want to start tonight by sharing my intentions with you. That way you know what's coming up next and probably about when we're going to end, so that you're not sitting here wondering how long is this going to go. But my intention today is to educate you on essential oils and to also empower you to take control of your pets and your kids' health, and also your own. And I want to show you how to get these tools in your home if you want them. So no pressure ever. And here's the good stuff. So what is an essential oil? Well, essential oils come from plants, and most of us know that part anyway, but they are natural aromatic compounds that are extracted and distilled from plants for health benefits. They've been around for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. So we call our modern medicine modern, and it is. These essential oils are definitely not modern. They've been around a long time. And then they contain hundreds of different compounds, providing complex and versatile abilities to combat threats without building up resistance. That's really important. So to know a little bit about what we're dealing with when we're talking about MRSA and other superbugs is that they've become resistant to our antibiotics. So we don't have to worry about that with essential oils because there are so many compounds in one drop. It's almost, and I won't say it is, but it's almost impossible for bacteria to actually be able to combat all of those compounds and become resistant. So we have some tools here. We have some very strong tools in our toolbox that we can use, and we do not need to be afraid. So I just want to set that out there so you know we have something to combat these superbugs with. They also work with the body to address issues and root causes on a cellular level. So our modern approach to medicine has been to deal with symptoms. It's not really to get to the root cause of what's causing us problems. It's really to take care of symptoms. And oftentimes those modern medicines cause other side effects that we now need to take more medications for to deal with those symptoms. But with essential oils and the natural approach, we are actually dealing with the root cause because essential oils work at the cellular level. So it doesn't matter what kinds of issues you're dealing with because it's all cellular based. So we can go right to the cause. And these oils are very affordable because they do come from plants. It's nature, and we can get our hands on these. So, you know, we're not going to be paying hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars for a bottle of essential oil. There are a few that are up there, but most of them aren't. So most of them are pennies per drop. So why doTERRA? Why doTERRA? So I want to tell you why I use doTERRA and not any other essential oils. And I'm going to talk about different essential oils because if you really want these in your home, there are so many essential oil companies and brands out there. You can pretty much find them anywhere. But you know, the problem with most of these essential oils, and it really goes back to the FDA, the Food Drug Administration, they regulate what we put in our bodies and on our bodies except for essential oils. So what that means is that when you see those bottles of essential oil on the shelves at the store, they can actually have anything in those bottles because the FDA does not regulate it. So I'm going to read something to you that I have here. Okay. So anybody can put anything into a bottle and say that it's 100%. It's 100% pure essential oil, and really it could be anything. So doTERRA actually realized that this is a problem, and so they came up with their own standard for essential oils. It's called Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade Essential Oils, and we call it CPTG just to be short, because that's quite a mouthful. But Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade means that these oils are sourced ethnically, indigenously, and they are going to be processed in a chemically free environment, and then they're tested with 11 different tests, and then once those tests are done, those tests are then released on a website called Source2You, and I have the website right there, source2you.com, and they are published for you to be able to read them. So on the bottom of every bottle of doTERRA's oils, there is a batch number, and you can go to that website and put that batch number in, and it will tell you exactly where that oil is from and what the test results were. So doTERRA is extremely transparent when it comes to their oils. So I always like to talk about my old normal and my new normal. So I'm going to talk about that for just a second. My old normal, kind of a little story here, is this is the way I used to deal with different ailments with my children or my pets. If my child were to wake me up in the middle of the night screaming mommy, of course it's always mommy and not ever daddy, but when they scream mommy and you get up and you go into their room and they're holding their ear, they have ear discomfort and they're in a lot of pain. So our old normal was I would go into the bathroom and I would try to find something I would have in the medicine cabinet. I'd pull that out and I would either give it to my son orally or topically. And most of the time it was full of toxic chemicals that could possibly damage their liver. So then they'd fall asleep. And then the next morning, if we were lucky for him to not wake me up several more times, the next morning I'd have to call him into school and say, I'm so sorry, he can't come to school today. He has ear discomfort. And I have to say ear discomfort for the FDA because they don't want us using all of those disease names. And so I will be using these generic terms. So bear with me. Hopefully you understand exactly what I mean. If not, go ahead and type it into the chat box and we'll have somebody answer that for you. So after calling him into the school, I would then have to call into work and say, I'm so sorry, I can't come to work. My son has ear discomfort and I can't come in. And my boss wouldn't be so happy with me, but I would just have to do it. Then I would have to take him to the doctor and pay my $30 copay to see the doctor for him to tell me exactly what I already know, because I'm a mom and this isn't my first rodeo. And he has ear discomfort. So I know exactly what's going on. But I have to see the doctor anyway to be able to get the prescription, for me to be able to go to the pharmacy and pay more money for the prescription, to then give more toxic chemicals to my child and have the side effects from that for the next, 6 to 10 days. So that's what my mom always did. And that's what her mom always did. But that's what we no longer do. And I'm going to go over what our new normal is so that you can understand a little bit how we do things now. So our new normal would be is if my child was calling for me in the middle of the night, I would walk in there with my bottle of Melaleuca or basil, and I would put a couple drops on a cotton ball and then rub that on the outside of his ear, on the back side of his ear, and then also down his neck. I would then place the cotton ball in his ear, and if I needed to, I would put a Band-Aid or a piece of tape over it so that that cotton ball would stay in there. Now, when we're dealing with essential oils, we never want to drip essential oils into our ear because that ear canal is extremely sensitive, and we don't want to do that. We never want to also put oils up our nose or in our eyes. And you'll get essential oils in your eyes eventually if you haven't already. Make sure you use a carrier oil like coconut oil or olive oil or even milk to get that out. You do not want to use water. It spreads and intensifies the oil, so that's a real no-no. So just remember oil with oil, and you'll be all set. So our new normal is that I've placed this cotton ball in his ear, and by morning he's feeling pretty great. And he slept well after I put that cotton ball in his ear, and now he's ready for school. Nobody needs to miss school, nobody needs to miss work, and everything goes back to normal. We would use those oils still for another few days just to make sure that anything left was taken care of, but we are now done with that whole scenario. So our new normal is so much better, and I can't even imagine going back to our old normal. So, okay, now I'm going to move on to the 3 different ways that we use essential oils. We use essential oils aromatically, we use them topically, and then we also use them internally. So when we use oils aromatically, which I am doing right now, I have a diffuser going in my home. And a diffuser is a special machine that is made for essential oils, and so that it doesn't break down from the oils. A lot of our citrus oils will break down plastics, and so we want to make sure that we don't put oils in plastic cups or anything else. We want to use a special type of plastic, which these are made, and otherwise we put oils in glass, ceramics, or stainless steel. It's just a little tidbit there. So aromatically, why would we use essential oils aromatically? We would use them to open airways, so get all of those sinuses opened up so we can breathe better. We can use essential oils to boost our mood, which I'm doing right now with my diffuser. I've got some balance in there, which I will talk about later. I also have some elevation in there. So I won't talk about elevation much tonight, but it does boost your mood. Also, another reason why we would use essential oils aromatically is to freshen and clean the air. A lot of our oils are antibiotic, antiviral, and so they're able to kill germs in the air before we even breathe them in. So it's a great way to just kind of keep that air clean in your home. So some other ways to use oils aromatically would be to just open the bottle and smell it. You don't need a fancy diffuser. You can just open that bottle. You can also put a drop of an essential oil in your hand, rub your hands together, and then place over your nose and your mouth and take a deep breath in. That's a great way to get that essential oil into your airways and be able to change that mood, open up those areas and make you feel so much better. You can also use essential oils on jewelry or scarves. A lot of people like to do that to be able to breathe those essential oils in. If we're feeling anxious or depressed, it's a great way to just take another breath and be able to calm down. So topically, we like to use essential oils on the bottom of our feet. And the reason why is because the skin is thicker on the bottom of our feet. And so that's a great place for children. And then for pets, we like to do it on their paws because that skin is nice and thick and it allows that oil to seep in a little bit slower so it doesn't overwhelm their system. And we can also use a lot of the, I just lost the word, different points on the feet, the points that go to all the different parts of your body. And we can use those oils to actually direct different parts of our body and change them. Those reflex points, that's the word. I did take my vitamins today, so they should be working. Okay, so another way to use oils topically and reasons why would be if we have a direct issue with a problem, like say we have discomfort in our bellies. We like to use an oil blend called Digestin, and we can rub that right on our bellies, and within moments our bellies feel better. Also, when we deal with discomfort in our joints and muscles, we can also directly put essential oils on those areas to help with that. Okay, and we always like to dilute, and I'm going to talk about diluting in a few minutes, especially with our children and our pets, so stay tuned, that's going to come. Also, if you ever put an essential oil on your skin and it feels like it's burning, we do have some oils that are a little warm to the touch. Just make sure you put a carrier oil like coconut oil or olive oil or almond oil, whatever you have, directly on top, and that will calm the reaction down. We don't want to use water. Okay, and then the third way we use essential oils is internally, and only with doTERRA would we ever use essential oils internally. I'm going to stop for a minute because I'm sure there are people here or watching the recording that go, wait. I have seen stuff on the internet or on Facebook that say, if I take essential oils internally, I could die. Well, the internet and Facebook are always right? Well, I'm going to give you a little scenario that's going to take your fears down from a 10 to a 0. And this scenario deals with a lemon. So when you go to the store and you pick up a lemon off the shelf, do you know where that lemon came from? Probably not, unless the sign said that it was from whatever country. But most of the time we don't. Do we know what that farmer put on that lemon in terms of pesticides or herbicides? Probably don't have any idea what chemicals he used. Do we know what that lemon went through as it was being traveled from the farm to the store? Usually we don't. Oftentimes produce coming even from Mexico or other states will have been fogged. The whole truck will be fogged before it can enter the new state or country. So even if it was grown as an organic piece of fruit, it still can be fogged. So just a little FYI there. And then what do we know if the grocery store sprayed something on that lemon to make it fresh or stay fresher longer? Probably not. And then we always have the risk of a small child walking through the grocery store who picks up that lemon and may chew all over that lemon and then shows his mom or dad who's in the store with him, hey, mom, dad, look, I have a yellow ball. And what do the parents always say? Put it down, right? Or put it back. So then we come walking through the grocery store and we pick up that lemon and we put it in our basket and we bring it home and we rinse it off in the sink and then we slice it and put it in our drink. Pretty gross. So when you pick up a bottle of lemon essential oil, you can turn that bottle over and look at that batch number at the bottom of the bottle, put that into source2u.com, and you can actually see where that lemon came from, you'll know that that lemon was sourced without chemicals, because this is doTERRA, and that's part of the CPTG process, that we do not let our farmers spray any chemicals on our products. It's also bottled and distilled in a chemical-free environment. So you can feel safe knowing that that lemon oil in that jar is going to be safe for you to take internally, as well as all that testing that's been done. And guaranteed, there's no toddler boogers. Sorry about that. There's no toddler boogers on that lemon. So I would much rather put that drop of lemon into my glass and add my water than slice a lemon from the grocery store. And why would we put lemon in our water? Well, it tastes good, for sure. It also detoxifies. So 1 drop of lemon is actually 100 times more detoxifying than a slice of lemon. So I don't know about you, but I don't have enough room for 100 slices of lemon in my glass of lemon water. So I'd much rather use that drop of lemon. Okay, now that we know the 3 ways to use them, and we can use all 3 ways with our pets. But on this screen, I want to make sure that you know which oils not to use with our pets. Now, it's not 100% that you'll never use these oils with your pets. Under the guidance of a vet or somebody who knows how to use essential oils thoroughly, may tell you to use one of these oils in a certain circumstance, and that's okay. But for the most part, we want to stay away from citrus oils, melaleuca, thyme, clove, oregano, wintergreen, vetiver, peppermint, rosemary, white fir, cypress, and Roman chamomile with our kitty cats. And we definitely want to stay away from wintergreen, melaleuca, birch, thyme, clove, and oregano with our dogs. So you're welcome to go ahead and screenshot this if you want to, so that you have this information for future use. I'll wait a moment. So if you want to do that, you can. Make it some water. Okay, and if you don't get the information and you need me to go back at the end of the class, just go ahead and let us know in the chat box, and I'll do that at the end. Dilute. This is so important when we're using essential oils with our pets and with our children. They're much smaller than us, most of the time, unless you have a Bernese Mountain Dog, then they may be the same size as you, and then you don't have to dilute as much. But with most of our pets, we definitely want to dilute. And how do we know how much to dilute? Well, I'm going to tell you. So when we dilute for our children 6 and over, we want to dilute 1 drop to 1 tablespoon. Okay, 1 drop of essential oil to 1 tablespoon of a carrier oil, like coconut oil. We like coconut oil, and I'm going to keep bringing that one up because that's our favorite. It doesn't clog the pores in our skin. It's a thinner oil, so it doesn't mess up our roller balls, and it's really great for the skin. And most of the time, they don't smell. So the kind that we use is not that hard coconut oil that you get in the cooking aisle. It's the liquid kind. You can still get this in the cooking aisle. I actually prefer to buy it in the cooking aisle if you're going to do it at a store. doTERRA does carry it as well. But it's liquid at room temperature. So what it's called is fractionated coconut oil, or FCO. So you may see that from time to time, FCO, and that just means fractionated coconut oil. So we like to do 1 drop of essential oil to 1 tablespoon of FCO. And you can mix that in a bowl or a cup or something like that. Just make sure not to use plastic. And then you can place 1 to 2 drops of that mixture on the bottom of your children's feet, or on their tummies, or on the bottom of your puppy's paws. Now with cats, it's a little bit more difficult to get to their paws from time to time. They don't usually like you to touch them. So another place you can put it on a cat is actually down their spine. And you can rub that right into their hair, down to their skin. And then as they are cleaning themselves and grooming, they'll actually ingest some of those essential oils and take it internally, which is totally fine. Sorry, I have reminders. I already fed my dog. So dilute. These oils are very, very potent. 1 drop of peppermint is the same as 28 cups of peppermint tea. So we really, really want to be careful about diluting around our pets and our children. So one solution, if you don't like to dilute in little bowls around your house, you can get the doTERRA Touch. So these kits are available. The top one there is our top 9 oils that we use all the time: lavender, peppermint, frankincense, melaleuca, digestin, breathe, on guard, oregano, and deep blue. And I'm going to be talking about most of those, I think maybe even all of those, today in a little bit more detail, and I'll tell you how to use them for your kids and your pets. But also we have the doTERRA Touch Aromatherapy Kit, which this is a very important one for mostly our children, but our pets do also get depressed from time to time or anxious. And so sometimes these aromatherapy rollers can work if you can put them on their paws. I wouldn't want to put it in their fur. That might not work very well. But they are diluted for you, so you don't have to worry about diluting them yourself. And they are very safe to put on children 6 and over. If you have children that are less than 6 and they are the right size for their age, because sometimes they're much bigger, one of mine was, then you're going to want to dilute even more, and you're going to want to do 1 drop to 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. So that just gives them a little bit more dilution, especially on infants. When their bodies are just so tiny, they really don't need that much essential oil for it to do its job. So just be super, super careful on our really, really young ones. And then these are great for 6 and up and even adults. So if you want to know a little bit more about the emotional blends, this will tell you a little bit more about them. You can actually pick an emotion that you might be dealing with or your child may be dealing with, and you can pick the right blend to be able to apply. You can even apply these to the wrist or to the neck so that they can smell them. They can also be applied to the bottom of the feet. Okay, I'll wait another minute in case anybody wants to take a photo of that, a screenshot. And let me know if you need it back again later. I can do that. Okay, so our top oils. Our top oils for pets mostly are going to be lavender, peppermint, but not for cats, frankincense, the digestive blend, digestin, our grounding blend, balance, lemon, but not for cats because citrus oils aren't good for them, and then our massage blend, Aroma Touch. So lavender, I'm going to go one by one here. Lavender is an amazing calming oil. So we like to use this on our pets when they're a bit overexcited, or maybe you have a dog like mine who gets very upset during storms in the summertime and you get the thunder and the lightning. She ends up trying to get herself behind the toilet and she's usually shaking, or sometimes in the tub. She'll try that one too. So we like to give her lavender and we put it on the bottom of her paws or even on the tips of her ears. Now, you do need to be a little bit careful if your dog has long ears and when they shake their head, if the tips of their ears can get to their eyes, because we don't want to get that essential oil in their eyes. So if they're not that long, go ahead and put it on the tips of the ears. We don't want to put oils too close to their nose because dogs are very sensitive to smells and our essential oils are really strong. You could do it on the tips of your cat's ears. Again, really dilute. Make sure that it's not overwhelming. The best way to really use essential oils with cats, for the most part, is really with a diffuser. You want to be able to put about 2 to 4 drops in a diffuser. You don't want to put the most. And then you also want to make sure that the animals can get out of the room that the oils are being diffused in, so that they have a choice to be able to smell the oils or not. So that's really important to think about. But you can put lavender into a diffuser, and many, many pets love the smell of essential oils, and they have no problems being in the same room. But that lavender will still help your pet stay calm. So maybe you have a little yippity dog that likes to bark and bark and bark and get all excited. Lavender can be very, very helpful at getting them to calm down. Same with our children. So if you've got children that like to get very excited, especially in the evening time when it's time to start settling down and getting ready for bed, putting a few drops in a diffuser can really help to get them to calm down and get them ready emotionally for bed. There are some essential oils as well that help them sleep. One is called Serenity. I don't have the slide for this one, but Serenity does have lavender in there as well. It also has some other essential oils in there like vetiver that helps calm the brain down. So Serenity can be a very wonderful oil to put in a diffuser to calm your pets or your children. We use it every night on my son's feet before he goes to bed. And then I always smear a drop on his pillow so that he smells it all night. But you can also put it in a diffuser. Okay, lavender also is an antihistamine. So when we deal with seasonal threats, my dog actually, Sasha, she started us on this natural path because her seasonal issues were not so seasonal. She had issues all the time. She had hives and all kinds of scratching going on, red eyes, and we still combat this from time to time. But with the change in food and having lavender on us, we're able to fix some of those things and get them to calm down, and she's not scratching and having all these issues all the time. So lavender is a wonderful, wonderful oil to use for those seasonal issues. Peppermint as well. We like to use peppermint to open up our airways. And when we deal with seasonal issues, oftentimes we get stuffed up and we can't breathe. Well, same with our pets. So Sasha also gets very congested and then she snores. And so if I don't want to listen to her snore all night long, we definitely put peppermint on her paw. So a lot of times we do one drop of lavender, one drop of peppermint with some coconut oil, because she's a big girl. And we place that on her paws, and it works fantastically. Now, we don't want to use peppermint for our cats, as you can see on the slide. Peppermint works wonders on our children. So we can use peppermint to open their airways. We can also use peppermint to settle upset stomachs. It's wonderful in water. It gives you a bit of a boost in energy. So if you need to diffuse this one for your family in the morning, this would be a great one to get them to sort of wake up. And if you wanted to put some citrus oil in there, like lemon or orange, to get that uplifting feeling, then that's another great combination for you to do. And that's a great one in the morning to kind of bring you out of sleepiness and get you to wake up and be alert. Okay, frankincense. So I have a little cute slide for frankincense. Frankincense is the king of all oils. I used to say the queen, but just to be a pistol. But the king of all oils is frankincense. And the reason why is if you don't know what to use frankincense, because frankincense will most likely be able to do what you need it to do. Frankincense is amazing on any cuts, so is lavender. It also helps with inflammation. And as our pets get older, they have more and more inflammation. So it's a wonderful oil to add to their food if they'll eat that. Sasha barks at her food if I put it in her food, so it's not an option for us. But for many people, their dogs really don't care and actually end up liking the taste of frankincense. So you can put a drop in their food to help with that inflammation as they get older. It's a regenerative oil, so it can really help the cells of our body stay healthy longer. And it also tells our cells when to die. So as our cells get older, they become at risk for turning into abnormal cells. So we can use frankincense, and you can go to a website called pubmed.gov, and you can look up frankincense and even such things as cancer, and you can see what scientists are doing in research about these two things. And what we're really starting to find is that frankincense really supports our body in fighting a lot of these diseases off. So it's a wonderful, wonderful oil to add to your pet's health, your children, especially if they are children like mine who deal with ADD and ADHD. Frankincense is a wonderful oil. It's one of the only ones that can pass the blood-brain barrier and get to the brain and help the brain. So we definitely like frankincense for that. And it just really helps those kids that are in sports and always using those joints and those muscles and getting inflammation. Frankincense is a great one for those kiddos, and you can apply directly onto the area. They can take it internally in their water if they'd like. You could put it under the tongue if that's an option. For those of us that don't like the taste of it and don't want it in our water or under our tongue, we can also put it in an empty veggie capsule, and doTERRA does sell those. You can get them in other places, but I usually buy them from doTERRA. They're very reasonably priced, and they just pull apart. You can put a drop or two in there and put them back together and take it internally through that, because we do have some oils that don't taste so great. Frankincense is not really one of them, but there are some other ones, so just be aware that you can take it that way. Okay. Back to this one. Okay, digestive blend. So that's our digestin. This is one of my top oils for Sasha. She ends up eating something inevitably every few weeks, and it gives her an upset stomach. So in order to combat that upset stomach, because if we don't, oftentimes she leaves us presents all over the floor, and those I do not like to clean up. So we like to use digestin. So I put a drop into my tablespoon of coconut oil, and I usually use the entire amount on her because she's 70-some pounds. And I just rub that right into her tummy. And you can hear the gurgling and all the noise that's going on in her tummy, and you can hear it slowly go away. And within about 2 minutes, she feels so much better because she's able to get up and run around, and you can tell just from her facial expressions that she feels better, and you don't hear that gurgling sound in her tummy anymore. Now, there have been some times where we've had to use that 2 times to get rid of whatever issues she got herself into. We reapply after about 20 minutes if she's still having issues. So you can reapply pretty often. And usually that just takes care of it. If you have children that get a little bit motion sick in the car, you can also use this digestive blend on their tummies. And then another great place to put it is right behind the bottom of their ears. Now, the reason why we put it there is that's where that nerve is that causes that motion sickness. So we put it in both places, behind the ears and on the tummy, and we're able to take care of that issue. It's also great for kids that eat too much of something that gives them an upset tummy. Sometimes that happens around Halloween or different times like that, or Thanksgiving, where they're eating things that they're just not used to. So that digestive blend is fantastic for that. The next one is the grounding blend, which is Balance. Balance is one of my absolute favorites. We use this one a lot in our home. Many of our pets become anxious or even depressed, and Balance can actually help them to feel better. So you can put this one in the diffuser and diffuse it in your home, and you'll see a difference. You can also put this on your dog's paws or even on your cat's fur on their back. So that's a good one to just keep them. It's called our grounding blend for a reason. It keeps you very grounded. So if you get a lot of ups and downs, it'll just put you right in the middle, feeling great. My youngest son, deals with a lot of anxiety. So this is one of the oils that we put on the bottom of his feet before he goes to school. And he's a great student. He's a really great student. But school sometimes, because he is a perfectionist of himself, he gets an upset stomach on the way to school. So that grounding blend is my solution to that anxiety that he may be experiencing. Okay, lemon. And I've talked about lemon already quite a bit, so I won't go into that too much, but that one you don't want to use on your cats. You can put lemon in your dog's water. Make sure if you do put an essential oil in your dog's water, you put 1 drop per liter. And you don't want to you'd want to make sure you have fresh water for them as well, because not all pets are going to really like that lemon water, but some do. I'm going to sneeze. talk about seasonal issues. So sorry. Okay. So lemon is a great one for your kids, especially if they want a little change in their regular water and they're getting tired of the way that regular water tastes. Lemon is a great one to help them detoxify their systems as well. Okay, the massage blend, which is called Aroma Touch in doTERRA. This is a great essential oil blend for those aches and pains that our pets might be feeling. You can use Aroma Touch to massage into those sore muscles and joints that they may be experiencing. So Aroma Touch is another great oil to use on our pets. We can also use this on our children if they are very sore from a sport or something that they were doing. Aroma Touch is a great essential oil blend to use on those muscles. Okay. Now I'm going to move on to mostly for kids because most of these you don't want to use on your pets. One of the oil blends that is really important in our household is the Focus Blend, Intune. Because my children do not focus very well, Intune is a key part of our daily routine. We use Focus Blend on the bottom of their feet, specifically on the bottom of their big toe. Now, why the big toe? Well, that is the reflex point for the brain. So we like to make sure that we hit the big toe and that we also run it down the spine on the foot. So the reflex point for the spine. And that really, really has made a big difference in their ability to sit down and learn more at school. I've even had teachers approach me in the hallway and say, "What did you do?" Because it is like night and day from him yesterday. So Intune is one of those we don't live without. We make sure that we have that at all times. It does come in a roller, so it makes it really easy to apply. It is strong. The smell is very strong. It has an essential oil called vetiver, and vetiver it comes from a plant in Haiti, from a grass plant, and it comes from the root. So it smells very earthy, but it is very strong. And sometimes our children don't want to smell like essential oils when they go to school, and I get that. So we put it on the bottom of the feet. We have them rub it in, and then they wait a moment, maybe a full minute, before they put their socks on, and then nobody smells it. And we still get the benefits. So definitely an idea for you to try if your child is sensitive to the smell. The next oil I want to talk about is On Guard. It is our protective blend. My goodness, do we need protection when we have children? So On Guard is one of my absolute favorite blends. It boosts our immune system. It has essential oils like clove and cinnamon. And clove is actually number one on the ORAC scale for antioxidants. But I don't go around chewing on cloves, do you? So this is a great way to get those antioxidants. Cinnamon is also very high on the scale. So we get tons and tons of antioxidants in this essential oil blend. We use this on the bottom of our children's feet every night and every morning. So it's a great one to send them to school with that on their feet or anywhere else that they may be comfortable having it, sometimes on the back of the neck, but the feet is kind of our favorite one for this one. They protects them from catching all of those things that might be going around at school. doTERRA also has quite a few other products with On Guard in it. They have a toothpaste, which all of us use. It helps boost your immune system while you're cleaning your teeth, and it doesn't have those nasty 7 toxic chemicals in it that most brands have. So we use their toothpaste every day. Also, they have a hand sanitizer in a spray, so you can take that, put that in your purse or your pocket, and when you leave the house, so that in these moments, like this child here, when their hands are filthy and gross and they've been touching all those nasty things, you can spray their hands down with the On Guard sanitizer spray. They also have hand soap, which I think is brilliant, because when we try to wash our hands, what are we trying to do? We're really trying to not get sick. And we're wanting to make sure that our hands get clean, but we don't want to kill all of the good bacteria on our hands. That good bacteria fights the bad bacteria when we come in contact with it. So all this antibiotic oil or soap that we like to wash our hands with at restaurants and other places, it kills all the good bacteria and the bad bacteria on our hands. And the next time you go to grab that handle and somebody with the flu grabbed that handle prior to you, now you have flu germs on your hands and you have no good bacteria on your hands to fight it. So the possibility of you catching it is going to be much, much higher. So I know the intentions were good, but it doesn't work. So the hand soap that doTERRA makes with On Guard is fantastic. You boost your immune system every time you wash your hands. It kills the bad bacteria, not the good bacteria, and off you go, and you're in safe hands. Okay. Let's see. All right. So the Soothing Blend. And if you guys have any questions about any of these or want more information, just please let me know. Write your questions in the chat box. I've got Jen monitoring that, so she can ask me those questions towards the end, and I'll make sure that I can get you more information. Also, if you want to put your email in the chat box as well, I will be able to send you a document with some really great mixtures for our pets, for your cats and your dogs, to be able to use on them. And then also some great recipes for your children as well. So if you're interested in that, make sure that you put your email address in the chat box, and I'll make sure I get that to you. Okay, Deep Blue. So Deep Blue is one that we like to have in our arsenal of tools. Deep Blue is our soothing blend. It is wonderful for those joints and those muscles. And if your children grow like mine, where they eat you out of house and home for 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden they seem about 3 inches taller. It happens. It definitely happens in my house periodically with my 2 boys. In the nighttime, oftentimes when I'm putting my children to bed, they complain of those joints and muscles from growing. So we like to use the Deep Blue oil, and again, dilute, and we like to rub this up and down their legs. And it definitely gives them that soothing sensation that they need, and it gives them enough of that so they can go to sleep. So this is an amazing blend of oils that only doTERRA makes that can really combat that issue. The respiratory blend, Breathe. I also have that on the slide, Breathe. This is an essential oil that we use all the time as well. It helps open up the airways. So if you put it on top of your nose, on the bridge of your nose, that's a great place. Don't get it in your eyes. Remember what to do if you do. Don't use water. It also works great underneath. If you have somebody who likes to make a lot of noise at night and keeps you awake, this is an amazing oil that combats that. I like to use 1 drop on the nose or just underneath, and oftentimes my significant other in the same room with me doesn't even know that I did it. So this one stays next to my bed. You do not want to diffuse this one around your pets because it does have Melaleuca in it. So if your child needs that help with breathing through the night, you can diffuse the Breathe in their room and shut the door and just make sure that the pets don't get in there. And then you do want to wait about 3 to 4 hours after the diffuser's finished before you let the pets in there, okay? Give it time for that oil to come all the way down out of the air. Okay, oregano. Excuse me, I'm gonna get some water. Give me 1 second. Okay, oregano. This one we do not run out of. Oregano is antiviral, and we do not have many products that we have access to that are antiviral. I do know of one that doctors have called Theraflu, but you do have to go to the doctor, you have to pay your copay, and you then have to pay the prescription cost, right? And I think they say, if I remember this right, it takes a couple days for it to really start to kick in. Oregano is a very special oil. It does not take 2 days for it to kick in. I have had people use oregano oil when they've had those illnesses come during the fall and winter, and have it kick in within 30 minutes. They already feel better, because essential oils takes about 20 seconds for essential oils to get into your bloodstream. It takes 30 minutes for it to be able to circulate throughout your whole body. That's pretty fast. So oregano, we use in our home. We blend it with 2 other oils. We blend it with Melaleuca, and we blend it with On Guard. I call it the F-bomb well, my children call it the F-bomb. I call it the flu bomb. They just have to be ornery. So we have this mixture in our house everywhere. And I will send you the recipe for this. So just make sure you put your email in the chat box so I can get it to you. This one we apply every 30 minutes while we have symptoms. We apply it on the bottom of the feet. If someone has discomfort on their throat, we also like to put it here. So on the throat, on the feet, every 30 minutes. And it has been the most amazing thing we've ever been able to have in our home to be able to combat those illnesses that come in the fall and the winter and even spring right now. It's been pretty bad around here. I've had a few versions, and everyone in our home has actually caught it. They haven't been all the same, but we've been able to combat it, and everybody's been fine within 24 hours and out the door. So it's definitely one of the tools we use often. And I've got a squeaker. Okay, so Melaleuca, the reason why Melaleuca is so important to have is because it's antibacterial. So oftentimes when we do get sick or don't feel well, we don't know if it's viral or bacterial. Sometimes it starts out viral and turns into bacterial. So we want to make sure that we have oils in there that are going to combat the bacteria as well. So we want to blend those two together. And then, of course, you know why we want to use On Guard. It helps boost our immune system. So between the three of them, they work fantastically to, okay, I hear protesting. I'm sorry. She's giving us her opinion about it. So those three are the trifecta of fighting any of those illnesses. Okay, and then I did talk about Serenity a bit, so I won't go too much into that one anymore, but it's just our calming blend. It does help with sleep. So if you have any kiddos that need some sleep help, that's the one I would definitely go to. All right, I'm almost done, you guys. Okay, one last thing about our kids. Basic health. We want to make sure that our kids are getting all the vitamins and nutrients that they need, and this is the best way to do it. Most of those vitamins and gummy bear vitamins and all of those things you can get at the store, most of those are synthetic vitamins, and they don't work very well. Our bodies don't recognize them as natural, and we don't absorb them. So these vitamins are whole food vitamins. It's balanced with those for our children, and there's no artificial flavors or colors in these vitamins. And you can't say the same for those gummy bear vitamins, and they don't have high fructose corn syrup either. So this is a very nice blend. It does have fruits and vegetables in it. So if your children are not big fruit and vegetable eaters, like mine, it's really good for them to take the vitamins. Now, if they are 4 and up, they can take 2 of the chewable vitamins. And if they're under 4, I would only give them 1 if they're able to chew that effectively. The IQ Mega is the omega-3s, and these promote cardiovascular health, healthy joint function, healthy immune function, and also brain function. So we want our kids to be healthy in their brains. This is why we send them to school, right? We want them to be healthy and to be able to learn. So we want to make sure that we're getting those omegas into their brains to give them the best that we can. Okay, one last piece here is the PB Assist Junior. We haven't had this one for too long, but it's a very exciting addition to our vitamins and omegas. Probiotics. Our gut is actually the place of our immune system. That's where our immune systems actually stem from. So we want to make sure that our guts are in good shape. And for kids, this is harder than most. Most children do not like to take probiotics, but these are formulated. She must have a ball under the table or something. These are formulated just for kids. They are double-coated probiotics, so they survive the stomach and they get to where they need to go. It contains 5 billion live cells of 6 different strains of friendly flora. So it's a very complete probiotic. It maintains healthy intestinal balance. I hope that makes sense. Okay. It also promotes healthy lung and respiratory tract function. So you wouldn't think that a probiotic would be able to do that, but this one does. To be able to take this one, they come in little sachets. They can be poured directly into the mouth. Many kids say they taste like pixie sticks. But there is no high fructose corn syrup in them, I promise. You can add them to juice, or you can mix it into cereal or yogurt or their favorite meal to get them to take it if for some reason they don't want to just pour it right into their mouth. But my kids, I have to put them up, although my 14-year-old can now reach the top of the fridge. But I have to be very clear to only take one a day. Otherwise, they think it's like candy and they'll eat tons of it. All right, one more addition. We love Terra Greens, and I don't know if any of you know what Terra Greens are, but it is a powdered form of fruits and vegetables. And since my children don't like to eat fruits and vegetables very often, I can sometimes get them to eat a smoothie, or you can even mix this into like a milkshake. A little bit of this, I had to warm them up a little bit, use a little bit at a time before I got to a full scoop, but over time, they never taste it. So you can get their fruits and vegetables in them by adding some of this Terra Greens in there. And there's lots and lots of great products, great fruits and vegetables in this supplement mix. So we always have this available at our home, and we are always mixing it into their drinks, and they don't even know it, and it is benefiting them tremendously. So, okay. So if you're like me and you love these essential oils and you're super excited about getting these in your home and you want these tools in your home, then there's three ways that you can do it. You can pay retail. This is the dumbest way to go. It really is, because you're going to pay 25% more than anybody else. You don't want to pay retail. The second way is to get a customer wholesale account. Now, this is for customers, not for people who want to do doTERRA as a business like I do, but if you do, let us know. But if you want to just get an account to be able to order products, this is the way to go. One of the ways to go. It's $35 and you can order whatever you want, whenever you want. It's sort of like a Costco or Sam's Club membership. You pay your $35, you get your Costco card or your Sam's Club card, and you go in and you shop. But with doTERRA, you don't have to go anywhere. You just jump on your computer. You'll have your own login information, and you'll be able to shop through their website, and it'll be shipped to you. So, but the best way and the smartest way to get these into your house is to purchase a package. The $35 membership fee is waived. You don't have to pay that on top of the package, and you get discounts on all the oils. Now, if you're like me and you said, oh my gosh, everything that she talked about tonight was amazing, and I really want everything, and there's so much more that I couldn't even talk about, but there is so many products that doTERRA has, and they're all wonderful. And if you're ready to jump in and just buy everything, I wanted to do that too. Okay, you can go ahead, and it's $2,500. Okay, don't faint. All right, so we do have other packages, but you do get $400 in free oils on your next purchase if you do get the Diamond Kit. Okay, this is my favorite kit though, and it is not as much as the Diamond Kit. It's going to be around $550, and you get so much, and you get $100 back in free oils on your next purchase. And I'll let your person who invited you here tonight to explain what 15% back in product points are, but you can definitely talk to them about that. This kit has that toothpaste in it, so you can live without those toxic chemicals in your toothpaste. It has the hand soap that I talked about. It has the On Guard sanitizer spray. It also has a diffuser in case you don't have a diffuser. It has the adult vitamins in there, which are just as fantastic as the kids ones. It also has the shampoo and conditioner that do not contain all those nasty toxic chemicals that most salon products do. This also has many of the oils that we talked about tonight, as well as CorrectX, which I didn't. I should have. Why didn't I? I don't know. But I'll mention it now. CorrectX is like your Neosporin, but it's way better because it uses essential oils instead. And it helps to stop bleeding, and it helps to combat those bacteria that might get into those cuts, and it helps it to heal faster. Isn't that what we all want from our first aid ointment? So this kit has it. So it also has the coconut oil in here, so you wouldn't have to go get that. And it also has the deep blue, which is in a lotion form, which is stronger. So you need to be a little bit careful with your kiddos. And if you use it on them and it's too strong, make sure you use your coconut oil over it to calm that reaction down. It also has the Breathe Stick. So the Breathe Stick is that breathe oil I told you about, but it's in a stick form like Vicks Vapor Rub. So you can actually rub it right on their chest and help them breathe at night. Okay, but maybe this is still too much for you. Maybe one of these kits is better for you. The top kit has all the oils we talked about tonight, plus a diffuser, and you're not going to spend as much. We're talking about the $200 range. So this one might be a little bit more affordable, and it's a really great option. But it is a lot smaller, and you don't get all those extra products on the side. The last one, the one on the bottom here, is our Family Essentials Kit. Now, this is a very small kit, so just beware. This one has a third of the oil is in the one that's on the top. It does have all the essential oils that we talked about tonight, and it also has On Guard and peppermint in these tiny little beadlets that you can pop in your mouth when you're on the go, when you need a fresh breath for peppermint, or maybe you have a headache. I shouldn't have said that. You had head discomfort and you need a little bit of help with that head discomfort. You can pop one of those in your mouth, push it up to the roof of your mouth, and get some relief that way. And then, of course, the On Guard is going to help with your immune system. So think about what you'd like to do if you don't already have these oils in your home, or if you're thinking about somebody else. If you already have these oils in your home, you can let them know how this works. Now, please contact the person who sent you here tonight. Or if you're watching this recording, please contact the person who invited you, because they are the ones that are going to walk you through how to do the membership and what all the details are, because of course I don't have 3 hours to go through them. Not that it takes 3 hours, but if you have lots of questions, sometimes it does. So I really appreciate you all for coming tonight and watching the recording. I appreciate all of you. I appreciate all my fellow leaders who got people here, and I just had a really great time. Again, if you want those recipes for your pets and your children, make sure you put your email in the comments. If you're watching the recording, please make sure that the person who invited you gets your email so that they can send it to you that way. I'm going to take questions now. Okay. So you can either unmute yourself or you can go ahead and type it into the chat box. How's everybody doing? Did I scare anybody away? Hope not. Hope not. Okay. All right. Here we go. Okay. So I did see one about fleas earlier, so I'll go ahead and answer that question. The fleas, I've had issues with fleas when we are in Mexico in the sand. Sometimes Sasha will bring some fleas back with her. They are kind of nasty boogers, especially since she deals with scratching anyway. So what we like to use is peppermint and lavender and a little bit of lemongrass in her shampoo. And I do make her own shampoo. Maybe I'm a crazy oil lady, but I use Castle soap. You can also use the doTERRA shampoo, but we use Castle soap because she's bigger and I don't want to waste all my wonderful doTERRA soap on her. So I mix just a drop or two of each into a big jar of the Castle soap and mix that all up, and then I wash her with that, and that really keeps the fleas from getting on her in the first place. If they're already on her or on your pet, you can go ahead and wash them with that same mixture, and they should vacate very quickly or die. You would have to probably do it every week to every 2 weeks just to make sure that if there's any eggs laid that you combat that as well. So, okay, so Jen, what other questions do we have? You're going to have to unmute yourself.
Well, I was noticing, I was talking in the chat on the side, and she was wondering if she could diffuse the oils. And I was saying how I found out the hard way. I tried to diffuse On Guard in my room to try to clean out stuff, and didn't realize how bad it would be for my dog. And within half an hour, she had a temperature of 103.3. And I was able to check that because I have an automatic thermometer in the house for the dog. So I freaked out and started diffusing frankincense. And within a half an hour, she was better, or he was better. And I started freaking out because he wouldn't get up even after just a few minutes of diffusing the clove from the On Guard. It was overwhelming to see. It makes you freak out when the dog's not doing very well and you don't know what to do in the middle of the night. But frankincense is the go-to. If anything happens, just throw some frankincense on it.
Yeah, and
that's what I found. But
On Guard is one of those blends that does have clove in it, so you do need to be careful. There are some pets that do just fine. So I can definitely diffuse On Guard in my home. It doesn't bother my dog. So it's something that you're just gonna have to try out. Don't freak out, really. It's most of these oils are very mild for our dogs, especially for diffusing. I would try it in maybe another room where they don't hang out so much first, and then they can kind of come and go as they need to. And most of the time they know if they can't handle it, a certain oil in the diffuser, and they'll leave the room. So that might be a good way to do it if you want to try to be very isolated and make sure that the oils are working well with your pets. So, and then if they don't seem to have any reactions and they seem to be just fine, then you can move it into a more larger area of your home, and you can diffuse there. And again, just make sure that they can leave the room. Okay, anything else?
Another thing I found out actually with when I was using the oils on my dog, my sister was actually diffusing wild orange. And my dog has a lot of like angst and anxiety because he's a German Shepherd. And so he literally will sit right and put his nose right in front of the diffuser as soon as I put the orange on, and won't leave the diffuser until it's totally done. And we know that it's done because he's walking around the house again. Because it's just amazing how much, when my dog is freaking out, if I just put a little orange in the diffuser, how he just totally calms down and relaxes. It's very interesting.
Yeah. A lot of pets love essential oils, so I just choked, so I'm so sorry. My voice will come back in a second. Okay, cool. All right, and then what other questions? We have one. It looks like, is the tension past okay around animals? Do you mean past tense? I'm not sure what that question means. So okay. Past tense is not one that I use on my pets ever. I would rather use like Aroma Touch mostly Aroma Touch or even lavender to massage into my pets if they need it. If you use it on you, it's fine. There's no problem with that. You can use it on you. I tend to not want my animals to lick the oils off of me, just to make sure that they're not getting oils they shouldn't. I'm trying to remember all of the ingredients in past tense. I'm not thinking of any that are off the top of my head that are necessarily bad for them, but I'd have to look at it again. So you'll just have to look at that slide, that information I gave you on oils to stay away from, and if there is any of those oils in that blend, you'll not want to let them lick it or put it on them. So I don't know why you would want to actually put past tense on your animal. You could. It could open up their airways, I suppose, but we have other oils that work for that. So, okay, any other questions? Did everybody put their emails into the chat box? Let's see. Okay, I'm not seeing any other questions here.
Excellent job, Miss Faith.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you all were here. And I will be in touch for sure. I can also do, I can do other webinars that are specifically for pets or just specifically for children. So if that's something you want, type it in the chat box and I'll let you know when I do another one of those. And we can get a little bit more into the nitty-gritty of those subjects, since I'm not trying to combine everything together. So, So you are very, very, very welcome. And I'm just so glad that I could do this with you all tonight. And if you guys are interested in oils, make sure that you get a hold of the person who invited you today, okay? And thank you.
Yes. I have one more question, actually.
Okay.
My sister, very well. She's rather old, and she has a she's limping a little bit on her leg. It's gotten a little bit swollen. Is there anything that we can give old dogs to help them with their discomfort as they get old?
Yes.
And
Mm-hmm.
So at the very end when.
Yeah. So frankincense. Frankincense is going to be our go-to because frankincense is it's anti-inflammatory, and so that's really going to help with those joints and those muscles that are sore. It's also regenerative. So because frankincense is regenerative, we want to be able to give those to our older pets. It's great if you put it in their food if they like it. Sasha barked at her food and wouldn't go near it when I put frankincense in her food, so it's not an option for her. But if your pets like it, definitely a drop in their food. Sometimes maybe less than a drop if you've got a very small animal. Maybe even a half a drop would be plenty in their food for one whole day. But frankincense is fantastic for our older pets. And especially if they're healing from something, frankincense is a great one. You can also take a little bit of frankincense and get it in their mouth and rub it on their gums. And that's another way that you can get that frankincense to absorb into their system quickly. So yeah, frankincense is a wonderful, wonderful oil.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. All right. Well, I kept you for an hour, 15 minutes. I'm sorry I went over a little bit, but I'm super happy to have you all here. And please let me know if you have any other questions. You can find me on Facebook. I do have a VIP group. So if you are already in doTERRA, you're welcome to be in my group. If you're not already in doTERRA, you can get with the person that invited you tonight, get into doTERRA, and then they can add you to my group if you'd like. But my group name on Facebook is called Oils of the Earth. It's a great group. I do post a lot of information on pets and children and families and all kinds of different subjects. So you're welcome to be in there if you are already a member. So you can find me there. You can also email me, and it's Missy Crawley. So that's MISSYCRAWLEY doTERRA@gmail.com. So you're welcome to contact me that way too. And if you want the recording, I can email it to you as well. So I will talk to you all soon. Thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye. Thank you.